You know, sometimes when we think about this and we're like, but why did the Romans build near such a seismic volcanic section that could have created, could have been a problem, and indeed ended up being a problem since the thing was submerged. And similarly, you could ask the same thing when it comes to Pompeii, the famous city. You're like, well, why did the Romans build it next to a freaking volcano? And the reality is that the Romans didn't know. I mean, when it comes to this bay, I think they just saw, hey, look at these amazing waters. They're probably like, they might be warm or they might have some interesting activity. And so they're like, you know what, let's build here. They were good like that. And indeed, it was something that for generations at least, it became popular. Of course, this is the Gulf of Naples. I think it's near the Gulf of Pozzuoli, so it's going to look incredible. It's going to be beautiful. So obviously people are going to settle there. It's not like they understand that there are some seismic problems underneath the crust and then they could create something. They don't know that. But when it comes to the volcano, you're like, yeah, but the volcano is there. Couldn't they see it? Here's the thing. When we look, and let me do it on Google, wait a second. If you look up the Vesuvius, you'll see that it looks like this. So you're like, yeah, of course that's a volcano. Like immediately you can spot, yeah, that looks like a volcano. Thing is though, this is the way it looks now. After there was the eruption that created this little bit of a crater that you can see, that is big in fact, crater that you see there. But in ancient Rome, it didn't look like that. It looked like just a regular mountain. It had its own peak. So yeah, when you look at it now, particularly with the knowledge that we have, that it went back to being active, then yeah, you could say, yeah, I wouldn't settle near it. But in reality, from the perspective of the Romans, they were just settling near a tall, beautiful mountain, and that was it. And what's interesting is that there is no reason to think that the Romans had any idea that this used to be an active volcano, because the previous eruption would have been prehistoric. So even if at one point there would have been some sort of memory of something that could have happened in prehistory, by the times that the original settlers decided to build Pompeii, that memory would have been completely gone. It's important to put things into perspective from a historical standpoint when it comes to trying to understand why the ancients do things like this. And regardless, we do it. We build near volcanoes and areas that are at high seismic risk all the time. It's not like the Japanese are not going to settle, where also because, I mean, the Japanese have 2 times the amount of population that Italy has over the same area. So yeah, it's a little packed. But in general, humans do this. We settle, even modernly, even with our current understanding, we still settle in areas that are at high seismic risk. We settle in areas that have risk of tsunami. We settle in areas that are at risk of possible eruptions, and we still do it. When it comes to the Romans, I don't think they had any idea when it comes to both Baiae and Pompeii. But even if they did, I think as humans we'll still do it. We do challenge nature. And at the end of the day, we oftentimes kind of have a little bit of a pros and cons evaluation. So we think, well, there is this risk, but how high of a risk is it? And then we try to assess it, and then we think, yeah, I think we can build here. The risk is not too bad. And sometimes we're right. Sometimes we're wrong. Splendid place. Just wanted to share it with you. I really liked it. So I just thought I would share it with you in case you didn't know, so you can go and deep dive into all the images and pictures. And I hope that you're going to enjoy that. And I'm going to show you a few of my favorite now. And then after that, I'm just going to say thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for my next daily upload. Goodbye.